Stupid Garbage Podcast.
Oh, I like that. Jesus. You having a tough go?
No, I'm fine. I just had to get recumbent. And now I'm mostly prone.
I just find it funny that you use those words when you could be using normal people words, but...
I'm on my belly.
There you go. I'm prone.
How are you, darling? Yeah, as opposed to being...
Vertical, I know.
No. Yes, as opposed to being vertical. Yeah, that's not what I... But how... Enough of that. How are you, darling?
I'm currently mixing through a bowl of hot wax, and it's starting to look like applesauce, and I'm having a really hard time not eating it. Doesn't it look really tasty?
No. It looks like frozen margarita.
That's still tasty. I want this in my mouth, is what I'm saying, and I...
Well, yeah, but you know it's wax. I mean,
know.
you know, plenty of things that look... I don't know, some flowers might look tasty, or...
Yeah, it's unscented, so, like, there's really no motivation to eat it, but it just...
Yeah.
Still somehow...
Anyway, so I'm prone as opposed to supine was my point, which is your favorite Pokemon, and then... yeah, what's up?
I don't know.
Jess, hello?
You know that, today's been a really rough day dealing with my skink.
Yeah, your lizard.
I won't go into it because you've dealt with enough, but...
Thanks.
Appreciate it. I haven't really gotten much done today other than that, so...
That's cool.
Yeah.
Glad you're getting to do something now.
Yeah, he's been put to rest permanently.
No.
No.
That's not right.
No, but he's at least, like, everything that I had to do regarding him has been done, so my anxiety is still here, and who knows what will happen, but I can't physically do anything about it, so I'm more at peace than I was this morning, I guess. And,
That's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm trying to think of...
We'll see what happens to the little feller.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I'm trying to think of what's up. I had a bunch of stuff that I wrote down prompt-wise, but I left it downstairs, so...
That's okay.
That's nice.
Aren't you going downstairs in 2 minutes anyway?
Yeah, that's true. One of the things it was about... Okay, so one of the things I remember... You're gonna hate it. It's about furries. But basically...
Okay.
So I was watching this video, right? And it was
Furry porn.
No, it was like one of my dumb Snapchat recommendations, and it's called Truth or Drink, where basically you play a game and, you get two people together. And
it's truth or dare, and every time they pick dare, you tell them to drink. I get it.
Well, no, every time they don't want to answer the truth, they drink.
Okay, they pick dare, and then you make them drink.
No, there's no dare, Robert. There's no dare.
The dare is drink. No, man, don't tell me there's no dare.
No, there is no dare.
It's truth or consequence, I guess.
Yeah, it's truth or consequence.
What?
The one that I saw was so fucking... Okay, so it was celibate couples play truth or drink. And one of them was like...
What do you mean a celibate couple?
One of them was a woman who was waiting until marriage to have sex.
Okay.
And her boyfriend was not that way. And he was like, yeah, it sucks. Like, I'm dying and I hate it. And I was like, not to be rude, but, like, this isn't interesting to me because this girl's kind of annoying and, like... Whatever. Everyone has their own right to do what they want with their own body. I just don't get it because I don't believe in God, so it doesn't really make sense to me that you're saving yourself, but whatever.
Jessica is Jewish, dear reader.
And judgmental.
Well, I was just more referring to godlessness, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, you can be Jewish and not be godless.
Not from what I've seen.
Anyway, so...
That's not what Fox News tells me. That must be controlled by Jews, right?
My friend messaged me the other day.
It's part of the media.
He was like, "Is it true that you guys save?" No, that's really anti-Semitic. I probably shouldn't even say.
No, go ahead.
Jewish. He was like, "Is it true that you guys save the foreskin of babies to use for your Jew sacks of money as rubber band ties?" And I was like, "What is wrong with you?"
How elastic do you think a foreskin gets?
I mean, not to be gross, but I feel like old skin, if anything, gets extraordinarily dry and brittle. It doesn't get elastic.
Well, no, you can treat it like leather, but
yeah.
But leather's not elastic.
I know, he was just being a psychopath, but anyway.
I mean, that's not psychopathy.
It was definitely weird and offensive.
It's anti-Semitism.
Sure, it's a lot of things. It's also gross. Like, you can be anti-Semitic without being disturbing about it. Anyway.
As are most people.
So
doesn't disturb me. I don't know there's any sleep over it.
What?
I don't lose any sleep over most
Oh.
anti-Semitism, I was saying.
Thanks. You're half Jewish.
It's a bit I'm doing, clearly, Jess.
Okay.
Obviously.
Anyway, so I don't know what you're doing ever.
You don't know what... Oh, no.
So I'm watching, so the next couple was an asexual person who was in I think it was like a long-term relationship with another man. And this man, I think, was bisexual, and they're in like a ethically non-monogamous situation. So like the guy who isn't asexual can fuck whoever he wants.
They were mixed race?
They were, I don't know, actually.
You said ethnically.
Ethically, whoops.
No, it was a
Ethically,
joke. I was making a joke. I'm trying to spice things up by making this episode interesting.
How dare you? Is me talking about furries not interesting?
You haven't gotten to the furries yet, man.
So anyway,
this is a 3-minute setup.
So I was like, whatever. Well, you keep interrupting me.
With jokes, I thought.
So I was like, whatever. Okay, so there's an asexual dude and a non-asexual dude. That's interesting. So I was watching that segment.
But okay, I'm interrupting you again, but do you understand how all that stuff you just said was totally irrelevant?
Irrelevant?
Irrelevant. You said, yeah.
No.
So I have this story about furries. I was watching this show called Truth or Drink.
Yeah.
And the first couple was boring and I didn't care for, so I'm going to talk about them a little. And the second couple was a little more interesting, but they're not the one I'm talking about,
No,
so
they
I'm going to talk about
are.
them.
It's so
Right,
I'm getting to the fucking punchline.
Get to the... No, man, you're getting to the setup.
So anyway,
God.
They were like, one of the questions was like,
what are your names? And then the first guy said Paul, and the second guy said John.
Stop.
Oh, biblical.
You know what? Forget it.
No, please.
Let's move on to the next bit.
No. I'm done. Go ahead.
So basically, one of the questions was like, when you masturbate, do you think of the other person in the relationship? Which I think was like a kind of ploy at getting the guy who's not asexual to say like, I masturbate thinking about other people because whatever. But basically, the guy who was asexual was like, I don't masturbate, so it's not an issue. And then the guy who was not asexual was like, well, I don't think about him when I masturbate either because I'm a furry and I only watch furry porn. And he said it in the most casual... He was like, yeah, I'm a furry. Like, he knew he was being videotaped and he knew that, like, this was gonna be an international viewed thing.
The lack of kink shaming, the lack of shaming in general, as I've said before on this podcast, we're reaping what we sowed. The consequences that are being foisted upon us for refusing to make anyone ever feel ashamed about anything they do in any capacity. Like, there has to be a line.
You should definitely be a little ashamed.
You should be ashamed, or at least keep private the fact that you like to basically dabble in bestiality. I mean, it's not...
I think, like, if you and I
there needs to be a line.
Like, a furry situation where, like, every so often you and I would go to, like, a furry convention and be furries or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm assuming most furries are very dedicated to furryism and they don't really go, like, once every 6 months or whatever.
It can't be called furryism, right?
I don't fucking know.
I think it's just called autism.
Ferality?
I'm pretty sure. Ferality is good. It's better because it sounds like feral.
Sure.
It's clever, which is not really something I've ever seen any of the furries do.
But I feel like when it gets to a point where you cannot, like, you don't masturbate thinking of your partner and the person that you supposedly love, and, like, you cannot masturbate to a real human, you need to masturbate to someone in a furry costume, like, that, I feel like, is when it becomes...
That does...
It's not a kink, it's, like, a crazy obsession.
It's an addiction.
Exactly, like, even if that was...
it's ruining your life.
And
it's frankly, it's ruining mine. I'm more concerned about that than I am with heroin addicts.
Even if it was, like, something that's, like, quote-unquote acceptable, where it's like, oh, I cannot masturbate unless I'm thinking about being spanked. Like, that's like, hey, man, maybe you have a problem.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're right. It offended me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
At least
the audacity of this man to just be open about
seriously.
this
At least heroin addicts they just chill out on Skag and don't do anything. They just lay in their apartments.
Yeah.
Furries have conventions and go out and really all the stuff that people used to complain about back in the 90s with pride and gay people, and I don't mind people being gay, but I don't like them shoving it down my throat. Gay people, I find, don't by and large actually do that, but furries do. There are no quiet furries.
And as I've told you, like, when I was younger, I stumbled upon furry art because I was obsessed with animals all the time, so I would always look up pictures of animals, and I'd always get fucking furry art results for some reason. And it just, like, you can't escape it.
Here we go.
And
yep.
Even on Instagram, like, I think
this
I told
is it. Buckle in.
I'd follow the hashtag of, like, a blue tongue skink because I own one.
Here
and then there'd be
is.
fucking furry versions of my sweet pet lizard, and I'm like, ew, I can't avoid it. Life is hell. And this dude just sent me into just a rage.
What was his thing?
What?
His animal, his thing.
He did
What
not
is he?
go into it. They did not really press the issue. They were just like, okay, that's... And I don't even remember. I honestly, like, I blacked out. I was so upset that I don't remember the rest of the... I'm pretty
Flew
sure...
into a rage. Their personalities, their personas or
Oh
something.
yeah, the persona. I'm pretty sure that they went on, like, kind of a... talk about how you're in a relationship while still being asexual. Like, they kind of went that route.
This is just being friends. I don't mean to be insensitive,
no,
but...
asexual people can experience love. They just don't necessarily want... No, like,
friends.
I don't love any of my friends in the way that I've loved you, not to be a loser, but, like, it's just, I think romantic love and friend love are obviously different.
Yeah, alright.
But I agree with you. Like, if you took our relationship and removed the sexual element, I'd say we're just friends. Like, we're just people who like each other and hang out a lot. But I don't think that our brains are wired the same way, so we can't even comprehend... Because we do have sexual desire, so I think we can't, you know... To me, it's like, that wouldn't be a relationship, but also if that's all that an asexual person knows.
Yeah. What would your... I have no opinion on that. It seems strange to me. It's because any of the other primal urges to procreate and exist and, you know, extend your lineage, no one ever says, you know, oh yeah, no, I don't get hungry. You know, air is not really my thing, you know. Asexuality. I don't care if people are asexual.
Yeah.
It's certainly not my business, and it unlike the furry shit offends me on a very personal, deep psychological level, but the asexuality absolutely does not. I don't know, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But I just don't get it.
I mean,
whatever.
I get it the same way I get being gay. Like, it's just that's how your brain is, and you just... I don't know. I wonder, like, if people...
Yeah, but you're bisexual, so I understand why you would get that.
I wonder... I also, like, when I was young, I remember, like, I had a friend who, at the time, was straight, but now she's, like, super... Or they are super queer and... What?
Just clear my throat.
Oh.
It's good radio, I know.
But that friend was... I remember, like, she sat me down one time, and she was like, hey, like, I think you might be asexual. Like, have you ever thought about it? But I remember, like, at the time, because I was such a prude in high school, and, like, the thought of sex freaked me out. The thought of kissing someone freaked me out. And she was like, hey, dude, maybe you're asexual. And I remember, like, my heart went into my stomach, and I was just like, oh, God. And, like, I can't imagine. And I feel like for people that actually are asexual, like, that's what happens, where they're just like, they aren't necessarily like, this is me and I love it. Like, they're, you know.
Yeah, this is why...
That must be bad fucking news.
This is why interventions in that capacity, or mind your own business. People are so goddamn dumb.
No, I regret how I handled my friendship with her, because I think, all of our friends knew that she was going to be... What?
Yeah, go ahead.
All of our friends knew that she was, or they were queer, and before they did, and I think that, like, we didn't realize how talking to them in the way that we did would affect them. And, you know, I don't think that anything I said was bad. I just think that the way it affected them and, like, kind of made them question their sexuality as a kid was maybe... Yeah,
that's irrelevant to my point.
What's your point?
My point is that this person trying to tell you you were asexual was idiotic.
Well, I'm saying I did the exact same thing to them later.
Well, then you shouldn't...
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I fucked up too, but... Yeah, I mean, I think they were just trying to support me, because I was obviously struggling, and I was like, why don't I want to have sex? What's wrong with me? And I think they were trying to be like, hey, maybe this is, like, an answer to your situation.
You went to a school with 80 people, all of whom were Jewish, that you didn't find them any sort of... that you didn't find any sort of attraction to them.
Yeah.
Kind of, to me, implies that you have a perfectly healthy libido.
I definitely, like, there were a lot of people that I was attracted to, and I think it just kind of... I think it just didn't work, or, like, they, you know... Yeah.
You're a pussy, I get it. So,
yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely more that, and the fact that
you've always been a pussy. You always will be a pussy.
Hey.
Pussy. Sweet little baby cat. What are we doing?
Be nice to me. I'm a big, bold, bad bitch.
You're a big boy.
I'm not a pussy.
Big boy.
Exactly, I'm a big, strong boy.
Big boy. I was going to say something. Oh, yeah, what would I think we've talked about this, too, on the pod. God, my phone, I don't even know what this is. It's just speckled. What's up? What are you doing? What? Don't touch the phone. Stop touching things. Yeah, go take your applesauce downstairs.
So what are you going to
do? I told you I'd steer the ship.
You're going to riff?
I'm going to fly solo, yeah.
Okay, I'll be hopefully like 30 seconds.
Bye, Jess.
Bye.
Say bye, everyone. She's going. Yeah, that bitch is gone. So as I was saying before Jess left, oh god, this is nice. I can just talk at my own pace. What are you guys up to? I've been watching a lot because Jess and I are pescatarians now, which was her idea, and she asked if I would do it with her, and I don't know why, but I said yes. I'm a man mired by his own mistakes, as you all probably know if you've listened to the pod at all. Kind of trapped in a prison of my own design, but in a much more real, immediate way, trapped in a prison of someone else's design, and that someone else is a sadistic, crazy person. You know her. It's Jess. So, not to keep you in suspense, but she wanted to be a pescatarian because she is sick of eating animals and talked about someone tried to get her to go hunting and she said, well, no, you're killing innocent babies, and someone said, well, you're doing that by eating red meat. And that, goddamn, that took 3 or 4 hours. We're on a hike, and that's the only thing we talked about the entire time. It took that long to convince Jessica, to make her understand that that it was functionally the same thing, maybe worse, given that you would think that a lot of the meat gets wasted when you go to, factory farms or slaughterhouses, and even if it doesn't, they're certainly not treated well or humanely or killed you. I don't know a lot about the meat industry, but from what I know of it, it does not seem like it's particularly kind to the animals. So anyway, Jessica said, you know what, you're right, I'm gonna go pescatarian, because who gives a shit about fish? They don't even have eyebrows, you can't tell if they're in pain, whatever. So I said, all right, I'll do it too, which, one of my best friends is a cow, so, a bull, rather. His name is Bucky. So I thought, yeah, I'll go pescatarian, and that's been 3 months now, maybe, I want to say, and right at the start of lockdown, which maybe is the easiest, maybe it's the hardest time to do it, I don't know. I'm still allowed to eat meat once a week, but it's still not a lot, and we eat meat when we go out, when we get takeout, Jess and I. I'm already boring myself with the story. Anyway, point of the story is that I don't eat meat a lot anymore, and so I've been watching Gordon Ramsay and his videos, top 5 pork recipes, top 5 burger recipe, whatever, compilation videos, and it's as close as I can get to enjoying red meat. Although I don't mind watching the pork recipes as much because I don't usually like pork. The one thing that I do make with pork is I think they're kind of bastardized chicharrones, or chicharrones, I don't know how you're supposed to say it. They're popular in Central and, I don't think so much in South America, but Central America and the Caribbean. And what they're supposed to be is, if you ever see like pork rinds, you'll get bags of them. You can see them at the grocery store. They're crispy, and I don't really like the ones you buy in a bag. They're kind of waxy and weirdly greasy, even though they're super dry. I mean, it makes sense because it's just pork fat, but it's just not pleasant. It tastes, kind of weird and too meaty. You'd think it would be good. You kind of think about it, oh, it's pork rinds, and, they get them all crispy, and it must be kind of like crispy bacon, but it's really not. It's just, it's kind of like someone took popcorn and dipped it in bacon grease, which that actually, too, sounds like it might be good, but it's not. So anyway, what I do is I make chicharrones my own way. I get pork fat and pork back, and I cut it up into, 25, 30 pieces. The pieces, the whole slice of pork back is only, 3 by 3 inches, and it's an inch thick, so you get little pieces that are about the size of dice, maybe a little bigger, and you just throw them. You're supposed to slow cook them. All the recipes I've seen, you boil them, simmer them, whatever, for 6 hours. And the first time I did that and in my crock pot, and you skim off the fat, and then you throw them in, and it helps some of the fat be removed. But I find that the fat helps them cook a lot better, and it makes them a little less salty. And so anyway, I throw them in a pan, and in 10 minutes or so, they get really, really crispy, and it's thick, delicious. I cut off the skin on the top because that makes it difficult to cook. But the fat and the meat are both very delicious. It's kind of like bacon. And then I make tacos with them. I put them in little white tortillas. I don't do corn tortillas. Corn tortillas are bullshit. Anyone likes corn tortillas, they're authentic. That's how the Mayan people made them. Or what would it be? Yeah, it could be the Maya. I guess they're in Mexico. Maya or the Aztec culture, use a mortar and pestle and or pestle. I can never remember how it's said. I think it's pedal, isn't it? Jamie, pull that up. And so people always say, the corn tortillas are the traditional, but I don't care if they're traditional. They taste like shit. And they're always so, particularly the little ones, if you buy them at a store. I don't know why, but the small ones are always so gummy almost. It's rubbery. Get flour tortillas. They're more malleable. They don't tear. They don't rip. They're better tasting. They don't absorb all the liquid as much. And then you just put, maybe a chipotle mayo if you want, or a hot sauce, a little bit of chopped garlic, onion, tomato, avocado, cheese if you want. I don't usually do cheese with, sometimes I do with the chicharrones on top. I don't usually melt it in because that's too much fat on fat if they go right under the chicharrones. And
Sorry, are you just giving our readers a recipe?
Well, I was telling them how I made chicharrones. Well, one of them asked, so I thought I'd tell them about how, what I was doing today. I've been watching I was watching right before we started Gordon Ramsay's top 5 pork recipes, and I was telling him how I don't mind how that's as close as I get to enjoying red meat nowadays. But the pork ones don't make me too hungry because I don't usually make a lot of pork recipes. And then I went down the road of basically the only pork recipe I do make, and now we're here. Jess is back, by the way, dear reader. Sorry.
Hello.
But you're way far away from the mic. It's probably fine. You're exceptionally loud. I don't know what it is about your voice, but it's just piercing on these audio files.
Rude.
But
yeah, I'm very loud.
It's not rude. It's a fact. You're 14 feet away from the mic, and I think within a foot of it, and you always and we're talking the same. We're talking the same volume.
No.
Yes.
You're more quiet.
Okay. Well, then whatever it is, you are exceptionally loud.
I just have it's like a leadership voice. You know what I mean? Like I'm just good at.
No, man, it's not. It's just you're just loud. You're loud. The word you're looking for is loud.
I command the room.
You're loud. You command the room by speaking louder than everyone. Whatever. Jessica's a loud bitch. Jessica, we do this. I have the phone usually in my lap, and Jessica is on the other side of the room. Occasionally, she's downstairs.
Downstairs.
That's why in the minisodes where we're in the car, which we've only done 1 or 2 of, and they're terrible. Don't listen to them, dear reader.
Them, yeah.
Yeah, because they come out. I'm holding the phone up to my face as if I'm taking a phone call, and you can hear your voice clear as day, and you can hear the whine of the car or whatever sound it's making, the blinker coming on or whatever, and then I'm, hey, yeah, I know. I thought if we get
you're so quiet.
Again,
I've said this,
point.
like even
reptiles can be
reptiles.
No, I agree, Jen. That's what happens. You can't hear anything that I say. It's like I'm screaming from the other end of a tunnel.
Yeah, it's possible
whispering through a piece of cloth. I don't know what it is.
That it thinks that I'm really loud, and then it
you are really loud.
Adjusts to my volume by making everything else quieter because it's like, okay, she's being loud. Let's.
That's not these. That's not how these levels work. That's not no. Absolutely. So, Jessica, which one of us is the EP?
Fuck you.
Show of hands. Jessica not raising her hand. Great. So anyway,
neither are you.
Yes, oh my god. Who are they gonna believe, Jess? You were the EP.
Fuck off. Anyway, so
red meat. Yeah. Well, I've been talking about it for 10. And then I was talking about my chicharrones and how I make them, and they're super easy and fast, and they're delicious. I usually put a decent amount of some sort of mayo or avocado's good, or cheese on the taco. They don't pair super well with cheese, but if you get the regular pork back, then they're really salty. And I don't find that simmering them or slow cooking them really helps to alleviate that. So some sort of fat on the taco would be good, or just get the low sodium version of the pork back if you can find it. They're delicious and fun, and anyway, and they pop right out of the pan. They're very bacon crisp, crackle, sizzles, yeah, but the chicharrones, in addition to doing that, they jump up into the air. It's quite interesting. It's very fun. Anyway, so as I was saying, Gordon Ramsay, Jess and I have been watching quite a bit of Kitchen Nightmares, and the other one, although we haven't really been watching it, is Hell Hotel or Hotel Hell, I don't remember.
We should watch another one of those, actually.
Yeah, they're interesting. But so Gordon Ramsay, there are 2 versions. There's Kitchen Nightmares, and then there's Kitchen Nightmares. One of which, there's no distinction between them. One of which is the American version, and one of which is, if you're watching them on YouTube, because Gordon Ramsay and Kitchen Nightmares have their own YouTube channels, the British ones are always they're always kind of clickbaity, Gordon finds what could be a fatal mistake in this restaurant, worst Italian dish. Gordon is flabbergasted that powdered minestrone is on the menu, stuff like that. So
I thought it was minestrone.
I thought so too. He says minestrone.
He does. I thought that was
so
weird.
maybe that's because he's British, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I've always heard minestrone, but
I mean,
he says like minestrone is very.
As much as I know of Italian, you don't pronounce an E as an I.
You might be right. It might be him
Like
being
Italian
British.
would be minestrone.
But I feel as though if Gordon Ramsay says minestrone, it can't be that wrong.
Yeah, I guess.
How
could you
he
get
can be
away
the authority
with,
that I fall back upon. So, do you mind?
Yeah, sorry.
I'm in the middle of something.
You're right.
So anyway, all the clickbaity titles are, click. Yeah. Gordon tries to help struggling Italian restaurant, whatever. And those are the British ones, wherein Gordon is much more subdued and much calmer and is much nicer. And it's a lot more about the owner of the restaurant than it is about the restaurant itself. And I feel as though it focuses a little more on the food. But, they both focus pretty heavily on the personal aspects of their lives.
Sorry, which one do you think focuses more on the food?
I think the British one, but it depends on the episode, really. Because if the food is fine, if the food is fine on the rest, or relatively okay, and the restaurant is just suffering from other issues, then they'll focus on those other issues, kitchen staffing problems, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then the American ones are just season 3, episode 10. Season 5, that's how you can tell from the title. And the American ones are always faces of the servers or occasionally the owners, whereas the thumbnails for the British ones are usually outside shots of the restaurant or the food itself. But anyway,
weird.
So we've been watching a lot of them, and so there's a distinction in Gordon's attitude, and there's also a couple of regular features. For example, Jessica. As I told Jess...
Oh, I'm dying.
Do you mind?
What's going on?
As I told Jessica... when we first started watching these, every single episode I said watch for it. Almost every episode Gordon takes his shirt off.
It's so
And then we started watching the American version
gross.
and he never did it. He never does it in the American version. I don't know why, but they maybe once or twice, they almost never show it.
So
and then the British version though, every single because he goes to the restaurant, he's wearing a suit or jeans and a t-shirt. He eats, he meets the owner, and then before he goes in the kitchen, he changes into chef's coat.
Yeah.
And so when he does that, that's always on camera. He takes off his shirt, and then he talks to the camera for 15 seconds, and he puts on the chef's uniform, outfit, whatever it is.
Why?
I don't know, he likes to show off his
here's the thing.
smoking bod.
If it was like him getting dressed, that's kind of weird, whatever, but it's him getting dressed and whispering to the camera. Like he's like, okay, so today we're going to be going to this like it seems like his wife and kid are like in the next room over and he doesn't want to wake them.
I think it's because he's in small closed spaces to go get changed. And the microphone has to be low.
It feels gross. Like it feels like I'm like eavesdropping into someone's personal space because it's like, hey, we have to be quiet, like we're just getting ready in the morning. Like it's like,
you know what it is, Jess?
What?
It's ASMR.
It the whispering really bugs me, and it's just like why
he does not whisper. He just isn't yelling.
He talks at a lower volume than he does the rest of the show, and I find it very jarring.
Maybe you should give that a try.
We can do an episode where I talk like Gordon getting ready in the morning. I'll just lower my voice, and no one's gonna enjoy it at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see, I guess, but give it a go. So anyway, we've been watching a lot of that, and Jess, hello?
We saw like 2 episodes, but
very recent, in the past 2 days we've seen 2 episodes. We've watched a lot.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy these shows?
Of course.
Did you, when going downstairs, get your list of things you want to talk about?
No.
Okay.
I didn't. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea where that list is.
I appreciate your honesty. I don't love what you're saying, though.
I feel like it's probably up here, actually. Hello? List? Hello? You know?
I'll wait.
If I didn't have notebooks just strewn about all the time.
Yeah, you have thousands of sheets of paper.
Yeah.
Just in notebooks, or some of them loose leaf.
Oh, is that it?
Bitch, I don't know. This says Dr. Parnassus.
Wait, I wrote Dr. Parnassus?
Yes, in giant print.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know what any of this shit is. It looks like garbage to me. It all looks like garbage.
Look, that's because
it is garbage. Yeah, no, I know. I get it.
I only wrote like a few things down. I wrote about I wanted to talk about the furries, and then I think there was like one other thing. It wasn't horribly interesting.
Right. If you were a furry, I think we've spoken about this on the pod. What would you be?
Probably like a fox or a wolf or something.
Okay, you'd go canine?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think foxes are true canines. I think there's something else.
Yeah, I think so too.
Something weird, but I always think that, and then I look it up and I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of hyenas.
I think they're a different thing than dogs. Seriously? I can't breathe. What's happening? Every time I cough, it's like so like, I forget what coughing is, and I'm just like, what's happening? Am I okay? Can I breathe?
What a thing to say. You forget what coughing is?
Like, every single time it happens, I'm just like, I don't cough. This doesn't happen to me.
What the hell are you talking about?
Like, what's wrong with my throat right now? It's like, what?
Foxes are small to medium-sized omnivorous mammals belonging to... Yeah, they're canines.
What? Really?
That's what it says.
I thought they were, like, something that started with an M.
Let's see.
Mastilidae. I don't know what they are.
Canids is a biological family of dog-like... No. Yeah, okay. The... Canini are known as canines, which includes domestic dogs, wolves, foxes, and other extinct species.
Damn it.
So there you go. And I think there are canids who are not canine, but they're extinct. I think. Yeah. There are 3 subfamilies found... Oh, it's in the first. I just skipped that somehow. Found within the canids, which are the extinct Borophaginae, and Hesperocyaninae. Jessica, hello?
Oh, I'm dying.
As well as canines. Okay, the extinct Hesperocyaninae. Huh. What were you? Give me some examples. Have been extinct for the last... Doesn't say. Alright. I mean, I'll read about this more later. Oh, these guys look cute. Oh, no, they don't. Ew, they almost look like weasels. Oh, those are disgusting.
So here's where I come in, and I share probably too much.
Great googly moogly. These things are gross. Okay, but you'd be a fox. Let's say.
I was in the middle of the sentence.
Yeah, but
So
you'd be a fox.
I feel like...
So then, Jessica, take the mic. The floor is yours.
So I feel like...
Jessica, spotlight.
Jessica,
comment.
Can you stop?
Oh, my screwdriver. Give it.
Be nice.
Give me that. Tommy Pickles.
What?
Tommy Pickles. He always has a screwdriver. He uses it
Can you please watch my show? The main character's name is Jeff Pickles.
Okay,
Please.
that's not much of a selling point.
Please.
What's it called?
It's Kidding. I haven't stopped talking about it for the past 3 weeks. Please watch Kidding.
Have you already seen the whole thing?
I don't feel good.
Do you want to leave?
I don't know what's happening.
I think you were going really smoothly when you were downstairs. Maybe go check on your candles, pet your lizard.
My lizard's in dreamland, and also I feel like he's dead, so I want to avoid him for a little while. I don't want to come back and find a dead lizard. I'll be really sad.
Okay, that adds up, I guess. So
wait.
It's definitely not dead, but...
My point is that I want to go... Or I want to talk... Like, I feel like in the furry world, canines are usually men. Foxes can go either way, but foxes, I feel like...
Foxes are canines,
are a little bit feminine. But, like, a dog or a wolf is more of, like, a masculine furry persona, whatever.
What about a she-wolf?
No.
Or a she-dog, like Caitlyn Jenner?
I mean, obviously, I'm sure there are some... What? Like Caitlyn Jenner? Is that just, like, a mean... You're just calling her ugly?
One nice. A she-dog, like a pirate. No, it's a sea dog. A seal. What would a sea dog be? Yeah, probably a seal is close. Walruses are too big. What's the closest thing that the ocean offers to a dog?
Anyway,
Jess?
It's a seal. What do you want?
A seal?
An otter?
You think so?
Otter's
not bad. Well, no, sea otters are huge, as you know. You've seen them at the Philadelphia Zoo, and they make disgusting noise. Anyone wants to go Google what a sea otter sounds like. River otters, are cute and sweet, and they make little squeaking noises. Yeah. Sea otters are... I don't know, conservatively 140 pounds and 4 feet long, and they have these disgusting faces and teeth, and they go. So go look that up if you want your day ruined. If you like otters and want your week ruined, go. They're look
like pugs in that their faces are kind of smushed, but in like, it's not in a cute way where it's like you took a dog and you smushed their sweet little face. It's like, no, you take an otter and you just hit it with
a frying pan
a couple times, and its face just gets gross.
I am fairly certain that if you tried to hit a sea otter with a frying pan, it would hit you back.
Well, I don't want to talk about hitting animals because it makes me sad. I shouldn't.
Sea otter's not an animal. I think they're alien.
They're terrible.
They might be demon
spawn.
A
sea otter would hit you back? Yeah. I thought you meant a river otter.
No, river otters are sweet little babies.
Yeah. I mean, nothing against any animal. I love all animals, but those sea otters are
something
ugly.
Else.
Yeah, they're ugly and they sound like the devil.
UGLY. They ain't got no alibi.
But my point is,
they're ugly.
And I feel like felines are almost always female.
Female lions. lioness.
But
Jessica?
again, you showed me the furries that we saw that were lions that you showed me like a couple episodes back were all males. So
I want to say it was episode 5 or 8 or something. It was not a couple back. It was months ago. But yeah, I mean, lions are males as opposed to lionesses. But I think if you're, I don't know. Tiger, I don't know. I feel as though a lot of it,
like I didn't know
sure.
that there was a such thing as like a peahen until I was like 26.
Yeah.
Or like you
So
forget
I
it because
told
like the species is called a peacock, or
No.
they're called peafowl, but like
and the babies are chickpeas.
when you're a kid, you're taught this is a peacock. You're not taught this is a peafowl.
Yeah, you're malinformed. So
sure, but most people.
I think a lot of it is influenced by, and this is
and lions,
Jessica, for the love of
I
Christ.
don't know what's happening to me.
So I don't know anything about the furry world, even less so than Jessica. But I feel as though it would make sense to me that a lot of the trends, I guess, I don't know, are set by popular culture. For example, because I'm thinking of, is a tiger feminine or masculine? Because you said felines or female. The only tiger character I could really think of in the last number of years was the Angelina Jolie character in Kung Fu Panda. Right?
She was a tiger.
Yes.
Oh, you're just talking about felines?
The only I literally said tiger.
Sorry.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm having a panic.
Where are you?
I'm freaking out. My throat's fucked up.
Okay,
I
so
can't really breathe and I can't really swallow and
I'll get you a cough drop and maybe a Xanax. So
thank you.
yeah, the only tiger I can think of readily off the top of my head, without effort, without thinking off the top of my head, dear reader, is the tiger in Kung Fu Panda, as I've said 5 times now without making the point that I'm making, is that so that would to me signal that probably over the past 10 years all the people who are getting into tiger furryism, you would think all the whatever art, I guess, and the Comic-Con character, whatever the fuck, people go to Comic-Con dressed as furries, right?
I don't.
That's a thing.
I've never been to Comic-Con.
Me neither, but
But
I feel
when
as
we
though
went to the
that's
Renaissance Fair, there were furries,
yeah. So I'm gonna say Comic-Con definitely. It's the same type of nerds, and the Renaissance is definitely not an appropriate place for someone wearing a wolf suit.
Exactly.
So.
If someone wears one,
I mean,
to a
maybe
Ren
one of
fair,
those weird wolf scalp hat things. You know, you see Vikings who have an animal hide. That's not what that was.
The thing about the Ren Fair is that if you actually like strike up a conversation with any of the Ren Fair people, they're
Mistake.
Yeah, exactly. They're weird in a way that's like almost alarming, where it's like, oh, like it's like, again, it's like next level of weird, where it's like, oh, I play Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, okay, that can kind of go either
I play
way.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I play Dundrags.
This is Jess.
And I feel like that can go either way. Or like if you go to Comic-Con, it's like, okay, that's like a little bit nerdy to the point where you're not like a casual nerd, but also like you could still be kind of normal. But people that are furries are like next level. Like
Autism. It's autism.
It might be some sort of
autism.
Yeah.
The end.
Because like, yeah, but and like people that are Ren Fair people, like you have those people that are like, oh, like I'm a professional leather worker, and it's like, okay, like you're.
Well, the employees at the Renaissance Fair,
Some of them are really, really weird.
Yeah, it's
like almost like, hey, if I look at you the wrong way, you're gonna like skin me and do something.
Well, that's just the guy who makes leather. That's his job.
But
and you are Jewish, so you're welcome.
But yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, like they don't have the social skills that are maybe required to fit in with normal society, and they kind of get like obsessed with some Ren Fair things. But then you have some people that are, obviously like totally normal, and I found a lot of the Ren Fair is a very interesting. What's the word with like a little bubble that starts with a C?
Community.
No. Chasm, maybe? I don't know.
Definitely not right. Chasm.
I don't know what I'm thinking of.
Pocket.
It starts with C. Cataclysm. No, I have no idea.
Microcosm.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's like a microcosm that's very... I could go on about the Ren Fair all day because it's so interesting to me.
We don't have all day, but
I'm saying, yeah, like there are very serious nerds at the Ren Fair where I feel like they would not judge furries at all. But then you have a lot of people going to a Ren Fair that are like really normal, that are just like, I want to bring my kids to something medieval themed, and it's like, it's a weird fucking place. But my point is, yes, they probably have them at Comic-Con. You're probably right.
Right. So I would think that all the bullshit, whatever furry art, etc., would be really heavily influenced by popular culture, and thus people who, these people who have autism and are unoriginal and want to be furries would thus be influenced by that.
I feel like it's problematic to say that all furries have autism, but...
I don't think it's problematic when it's 100% accurate.
Well, It
would be like saying all black people have dark skin, or darker skin than white people.
I'm gonna put it on the record that...
Sure, there are 7 albino...
I disagree with you.
Okay, well, you can do that. Just know that you're going to be... You might be on the right side of political correctness, but you're on the wrong side of statistical fact.
Whatever.
And probably history. I mean, these things, the pendulum's going to swing back, and it's going to swing back fucking hard. I mean, I think it has been swinging back pretty hard for a long time, but at least the past 3 years. But
what, against political correctness?
Yeah, I would say Donald Trump was probably an answer. People say Donald Trump was an answer to Barack Obama. I think Donald Trump, it may be in some way, but I really think he was more an answer to all the political correct bullshit. Because him being an answer to Barack Obama wouldn't really make much sense to him winning the actual Republican primary. Like, I think he was just an answer to people being sick and tired of
the snowflake millennial culture.
Yeah, the people, tiptoeing around. They just wanted someone who probably, for better or for worse, probably for worse, would tell them that they're allowed to say anything.
Definitely for worse.
Yeah, but the problem is that the pendulum swung very, very heavily to one side with all the political correct horse shit. And now it's swinging back, and it should swing back.
That's an interesting take.
Some, but because I think it was written in 2019, but I saw a New York Times article yesterday. Mm-hmm. And it's the fucking New York Times. It's massive. It's one of the biggest newspapers ever, whatever. And so it said, I think it came up because a lot of 30 Rock episodes, or maybe 5, I don't know, a lot, are being pulled because there's a character in the episodes who was doing blackface. But the point was that she was so stupid she didn't understand blackface was offensive.
Yeah, they're making fun of her for doing blackface.
Right, exactly. And yet
that
still...
That was Jenna, right?
Yeah, I one of them only comes to me off the top of my head, and I think they're pulling 4 or 5 of them, so I don't know what the rest of them are. But so that is, to me, seems stupid. But I understand why, if you're NBC or whoever, you would just do it and
for sure
say, it's dumb, but it'll cover our ass.
For
fucking
sure.
Fine. But then I read this New York Times article that said Julie Andrews is Mary Poppins, which I think came out in 1960. Shameful flirting with or walking the tightrope along the blackface.
Fuck you.
Because there was a scene wherein she put
was covered in
soot on her face to look like a chimney sweep.
No.
Which is
fuck you.
The dumbest fucking thing you could possibly
That's not blackface.
argue. No, it's not blackface. Just because you have dirt, it's offensive to say it's blackface just because you have a dirty face. That's offensive to black people. Well, to say anyone who has dirt on their face is trying to look like a black person.
Yeah.
Like, no, man, my
face
is dirty.
Too, like, I've seen a lot of photo shoots where, like, literally they'll paint a human being pitch black, and it's like, I'm not. And I want to do a shoot like that because I think the contrast is gorgeous, and you can put these really bright, vivid colors on top of the black that looks amazing.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to you about it, and I was like, you told me to stay away from it because you were like, that could be black, but like that's weird. Don't.
No,
do
I
that.
agree with you. It's not blackface, but people will view it as blackface.
No, I 100% agree with your assessment of what will happen, but it's like. I'm not trying to make my model look black. I'm not trying to convince anyone that this is a black person.
Giving them stereotypical,
I would paint it blue if it looked if it gave me the same contrast.
Yeah. You might want to go for it anyway, and then again, because the pendulum is swinging back hard, it might give you people are going to be outraged about it. And you'll say that you're an idiot because that's fucking stupid to say anyone who be like saying I got a tan. You're trying to appropriate black culture. No, man, I went out in the sun. What the fuck are you talking about?
Blackfishing is. I was looking into that.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so blackfishing is basically just like what Ariana Grande is doing, where
she dyes herself brown.
Exactly, and like the Kardashians, where they're like they appropriate black culture and then they don't credit black people, and they're just like just pretend to be black. There was a girl.
No, it's you can say it's weird, but they're not spray whatever the fuck, I don't know how they do it, or tanning beds, whatever. You spray yourself to, instead of look like a white person, look kind of orangish, like Ariana Grande. that's not appropriating black culture. There's no culture there being appropriated.
Well,
if she
like
did that
Kim
and then went on the cover of Vogue and was eating fried chicken and watermelon, and that would be appropriate. That would be first of all, that would be a stereotype. But second of all,
they all got fillers in their lips. Like they want the big lips, the big like big boobs and big butt aren't black necessarily.
Right.
They're just women, but like
I don't think
Kim Kardashian had cornrows.
That's
black people were not happy about that.
That I guess you can say is
and like,
problematic, but
Ariana Grande, like,
wanting
the way that
bigger
she dresses
lips
sometimes too.
Fine,
like,
that's fine. But wanting bigger lips or darker skin, I don't know necessarily is it's not, because that's not cultural. That's not appropriating any culture.
I mean,
you're just saying I think I would look better if my lips were bigger.
Also, like, people
it just
said
happens to make
big
me look,
lips are good. You should like I feel like black people should be like, oh, good, I'm now considered hot. Like,
if anything. I mean, you're just saying, I want to look this way if you happen to make me. I'm not saying give me black person. I mean, maybe they are, but if you're saying give me black person lips, I want to look like a black person. That's one thing. But if you're saying I think I'd look better with black lips.
Well, there was a girl in Sweden that I think like she wears like colored contacts. She dyes her like I think she wants people to think she's black or like she. I don't know if she's ever said I'm not white. But
peculiar. Oh yeah.
There's like a whole thing where she's
Rachel Dolezal.
Yes. Well, she calls herself black.
That was fucking crazy.
She's still.
Yeah, that was fucking nuts.
They brought her up.
The
actually,
Kardashians have done more for black culture than most black people have. They should be allowed to. First of all, I'm pre them getting famous. I mean, Kim Kardashian got famous by fucking Ray J. They are all married to black people, but irrelevant to that, their dad got O.J. Simpson off.
Sure.
They've contributed more to black culture in the last 30 years than almost any black person has.
Well, I'm not going to comment on that because that, whatever. But I think that I
Ariana Grande I can't speak to. I don't know anything about her.
I agree. I mean, I think Ariana Grande, like, if you look at pictures of her from Victorious and then you look at pictures
of
her
no.
now,
I know
like,
she's super white. And then she's painting herself brown. But I don't know anything about what she does.
The way that she speaks has changed and it's become also kind of more black. And I feel like that's fucking weird. Like,
that's hilarious.
It's really weird. Like the way that she talks, I'm just like, that's not your voice. Like that's like, what are you doing? And it's disgusting. Anyway,
that's super funny.
Like Bad Baby, she does the same thing where it's like she's super white and she talks.
What's a Bad Baby?
She was that girl on Dr. Phil that was like
Catch Me Outside.
Yes.
But
now
great.
She's like a rapper. Like I don't really follow her, but she's really famous.
That's awesome.
Like apparently she's a big fucking deal.
That's a hustle.
She's only 15.
Sure,
and
she was like 13, I think, when she did that stupid bullshit on Dr. Phil.
I feel like that was like 10 years ago. Like I don't know what the fuck.
No, that was 2018.
Because I remember like South Park did it, so I know South Park was running, but I feel like South Park has been running my whole childhood, so it's hard to.
South Park has been running since the 90s, but I don't think South Park did anything with her, did they?
Yeah, Cartman did Catch Me Outside.
No,
he dressed up as her.
I'll do what I want, whatever.
Yeah, that's the girl.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Jessica, I'm 10,000% sure you're wrong. If you think yes, Jessica.
She goes, whatever, I do what I want. That's the Dr. Phil episode.
No.
What do you think it is?
No. That's just lampooning any of those Maury episodes where they brought troubled youths on.
We'll
that episode might be.
I'm 1,000%
I'll look it.
You're wrong.
I'll look it up right now. That episode might predate her existence. So you got to talk for the next 15 seconds.
So basically, I agree with Rob in that you say that the whole snowflake culture is a problem, and people being allowed to people just making any decision that they want.
Yeah.
And then saying like, oh, well, you have to accept me because we're an accepting culture. Like, I agree with you that that's a huge problem where you can't just like be a terrible person or like make decisions that are straight up bad and want people to accept you. But also like, if someone makes a decision and they're like, I want to be overweight to the point where I have health issues and I'm at risk or whatever, people are saying like, if that's the way that this woman wants to look, let her or him, let them look like that. And I agree that it's none of my business and I don't get to police anyone else's body, but at the same time, why are we embracing that?
The freak strike. The boys disguised Butters as a victim of a... Oh, no, this is a different one. Oh, no, Cartman disguised himself as an out-of-control teenage girl in order to get on Maury. That's the same episode, yeah, okay. Season 6, episode 3, it looks like, according to this at least, aired March 20th, 2002.
When did Catch Me Outside happen?
If the girl is 15, she wasn't born until 2005.
Google it.
Oh my god, Jessica, are you kidding me?
Yes.
You think it was pre-2002?
I don't know, Rob. I remember it being a really long time ago.
Ugh, you're miserable.
You're a butthole.
Danielle, this girl's born in 2003.
Fuck me. Oh, no.
Yeah, it looks like it was 2017.
Did Cartman did not, South Park didn't do an episode on her at all?
No.
Mm.
Preposterousness.
Okay. Anyway.
Ridiculous.
I apologize. I've been...
1,000% wrong, I think you said I was.
I've been caught. Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
You're a fraud.
I'm a retard.
Yeah, that seems like as good a place as any to wrap up now that you've been exposed.
Well, I was saying, and also I just used the word retard, which I'm trying not to do anymore because that's not cool, but I agree that the point is, not that I want there to be a swing back against everyone just being able to do whatever they want, but like...
Yeah, I mean, it is swinging back.
Like, and
it's
also,
probably
like,
going to swing back too far, which means it's going to swing back again.
It's just like, I think there's like a lot of... I don't know, like women's empowerment is really, really good in that obviously like I'm a woman and I want to be able to be treated as an equal.
Shut your bitch mouth.
To a man. But then like you have women that I feel like are like, because women now get to do whatever they want with their bodies, we're gonna
feminist
be really...
women love Eminem. Chicka, 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 slim shit. Sorry, go ahead. You're right.
Like they're almost like overly provocative to kind of like be able to say I can do whatever I want, and I don't think...
That's you. You're talking about yourself.
No, like...
Yes.
I don't do... I mean...
Yes.
There are people, like...
Yes.
I don't really post many...
You don't post it online, but I'm saying
yeah,
in your
like
life.
I'm not as open. Or like as
you
in
go out
people's
in
faces
public.
about it.
Well... listen.
Sure.
You have your
but...
favorite sweatshirt just says bitch across it in giant white letters.
Yeah, but that's not me. Yeah, I mean, that's provocative, but yeah. But I think...
If you wore that in 1968, you'd be lynched.
Yeah, but like, you don't let me wear that sweater a lot because it makes you uncomfortable.
It's just not appropriate for a lot of things you want to wear it to.
I don't believe in censorship at any cost.
I know, it's not censorship, man. It's particularly if we're going somewhere where you know there are going to be young children or...
Freedom of...
Whatever. Man, freedom of speech is... No, not freedom of whatever. This is what you're talking about.
Freedom of speech.
No, man.
Like, if I want to curse in public and someone is like, excuse me, my child is here. It's like, excuse me, remove your child. Like, it's not...
You're such an asshole.
Bro.
The world doesn't belong to you,
It doesn't
fucking
belong to the
psychopath.
children.
Jessica, you're such a dick. I don't know what to... You're such a rampaging asshole.
Robert,
yeah.
I don't like it when other people tell me how to live my life.
I know you don't.
Like,
so what's the point though? Because
my point is that all of the acceptance and all of the like building of everyone, like what you say when you're just like, hey Jess, like the way that you're handling this thing isn't correct, and I'm like, whatever.
Right,
like
don't
I should
scream at children in public.
No. Like when I'm going through like a hard time and I'm like, I want to avoid all my responsibilities, and you're like, Jess, you can or whatever, and I'm like, it's my life, I get to do whatever I want, and, you know...
Yes.
I think that's kind of what's happening, where people are basically saying, whatever I do what I want...
Right.
Not ironically.
Don't shame me, don't judge, only
exactly.
God can judge, not even God can judge. That's my point, is that you're
yeah.
not allowed to call people out or make people feel bad or anything
that's
like
what
that,
I'm saying.
unless they're being racist, which is fine. Call out racist people, I don't have a problem with that, but you should also call out people who are furries. It's weird. They should probably not do that. In any capacity, certainly not in public. And it's certainly not when I'm trying to go to the Renaissance Fair, just eat a leg of mutton or whatever the fuck.
With the kink
I just
shaming,
want to get a bloomin' onion and walk around and watch someone spit fire. I don't need to fucking see you.
With the kink shaming too, it's like, you know, I'm all for people doing whatever they want sexually, like whatever makes you happy, but also like a lot of kinks are kind of a little bit of like a mental illness, a little.
There's got to be a line. There must be a line somewhere.
Even
if we agree that you can't rape children, which I think we all can agree, there must be a group of things that are unacceptable. Pedophilia is probably the winner in that group. So there are other things that are over that line. Maybe being a furry.
I'm not even saying
having sex with animals is certainly over the line.
I'm saying if you have sex and you want to be choked, let's say, because that's like a very big thing.
Sure.
I feel like you can do whatever the fuck you want if that's what you want and you're consenting to it and your partner consents to it. Do whatever the fuck you want, but I feel like the whole, I can do whatever I want and I get to be whoever, like it kind of takes the whole, maybe I should reflect on why I want to be choked.
Yeah, people are terrible.
Like, like, if you're like, you know what, I had issues when I was a kid where I felt like I didn't have any control, so when I'm in bed, I want to also, like, lose control, like, fine, but know that about yourself and then decide if it's a healthy way of dealing with it, and if you...
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. So...
I feel like it's dangerous to just let people do whatever they want without even, like... Again, if you want to be a certain weight, or if you want to stop shaving your legs or whatever, do whatever the fuck you want, but just, like, you know, if you want to be that weight, I feel like you should still be like, oh, my doctor says, no, I shouldn't be this weight. let me reflect on whether or not...
we could do a whole pod on how stupid the fat acceptance movement is, but we're overtime.
Yeah, and
really.
And the shaving of your legs or whatever. It's like a lot of people are like, fuck personal hygiene.
Fine. Well, I mean, if you don't want to shave your legs, don't shave your legs.
No, I agree, but like there's probably
you're right. Anyway,
the whole natural whatever.
Anyway, seems like as good a place as any to wrap up, if only because we've been going for an hour. This is not a good place to stop, but we're way over time. So see you later, pod racers.
Bye.